Okay guys, welcome back. I wanted to do just a kind of a quick update on the 1502. I've had it now in service for 2 weeks, say, and I made some changes on its connectivity that I just wanted to go over because what you saw in the first unboxing video toward the end was the amp in a bi-wiring configuration. I've changed that, and then also the input were with the AudioQuest single-ended RCA style, and I was using that off of the having removed the jumper pins on the back of the MA8000. Well, what I've decided to do since then was to put the jumper pins back in. I'm using an AudioQuest pair of balanced interconnects. So what you can see here is now the blue plugs, the blue pins are the XLRs, and I put caps on the RCA inputs. The speaker cables now, instead of 2-pair, are single pair, and these are on the 8 ohm taps from the amp. And the reason I did it was because these big Canton speakers are nominally rated for 8 ohms. They do spend some time down in the 4 ohm region, but for the most part, they're rated for an 8 ohm speaker. And what I noticed was after I made the change and put the jumper pins back in, let's see if we can see that. It's dark back here, but anyway, the Cantons have this bi-wiring ability, and they come out of the box like most bi-wireable speakers with jumper pins. So put those back in, running this system now off the 8 ohm tap, and I think overall the sound is just better, more coherent, better resolution. I think the amp and the speakers, everything seems to be happier on this system with the 8 ohm tap. Now, as far as the balanced connection is concerned and putting the jumper pins back in, the MA8000, what I decided to do, as you can see here, I've got it selected in output 2, which Macintosh has that output, balanced output, where if you were using, wanted to use the MA8000 to power an amp in a separate room with some speakers in a separate room, that's what you would do. So what I decided to do is just run it here in this room, turn off output 1, which I've done, turn on output 2, and just run the system that way. Now, there is this benefit to running it this way, output 2 for the tube amp, the MC1502, because I still have that second set of the Wire World speaker cables connected to the 8 ohm taps of this. And the idea is, if you want to just run the solid state 300 watt amp off the MA8000, and you just simply switch off output 2, switch on output 1, and then connect the speaker end of the speaker cables to the speakers, which right now they're just lying on the floor back here. You know, I'm in the deep south down here where it gets exceedingly hot in the summer, and this room that I'm in faces to the west, so you can see with these windows like this, there's a lot of heat and sun that comes into the windows late in the afternoon, starting around 2:30 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Plus the exterior of the house is brick, which tends to get pretty warm. So the point is that it gets warm in here in July and August, and it might be nice just to shut down the 1502 and just run the solid state, a much cooler running MA8000. And then that way you don't have to disconnect, you know, RCA cables, put jumpers back in and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, just a thought. The only thing you have to be careful and remember is don't confuse them, right? And of course, I don't think that's really much of a risk. So anyway, it's been working out pretty well, but there is a caveat. And a couple of nights ago, I had turned the system on to listen. I had my back turned to it. It had gone through its startup, and you can see all the green signal tubes are lit, the LEDs, when they go from that amber color and then transition into green when the amp is, you know, it's soft start basically and self-checking. And then right after that, there was a little pop. And when I turned around, this is what I saw. So I immediately freaked out, grabbed my phone, took some video of it, and then sent a text over to my dealer, who immediately freaked out. What I did was I just shut the entire system down again, and then came back a little while later, turned it on, and everything was fine. Absolutely fine, like nothing happened. And I've listened to the amp multiple times since then, and it's been perfect ever since. So I have no idea what caused it. I don't know why. The dealer just said, make sure you go back and double check all your connections and stuff, which I did. I had no problems with it, and I don't know. So maybe you have an idea what might have caused something like that. Just a one-off fault or just something, I don't know. And but it's been great since then. I've listened to it for many hours afterwards, and it's never done it again. I don't know if it has something to do with maybe just some stray power got in and it didn't like it or what, but and yeah, so I mean, it was definitely a freaky moment, and caused me some consternation, but since then it's been good. So if you got any comments on what could have caused that, I would certainly be interested to hear it. Otherwise, the amp is in great shape. Really pleased with this piece of equipment. It's worth the money, no question in my mind about that, even though it's really quite expensive. Beastly in size, but it's just a great amp. And the thing is even with these 8 KT88s, it's warm up close, but it's not overpoweringly warm. I've seen tube amps that run really hot in comparison, and this thing is really not that bad. So what I want to do in the next video, I'm going to move over here, and we're going to talk open reel tape decks. So this is my Tascam BR20, and next to it is my TAC X1000R. One's a 4-track machine in the TAC, the other is a 2-track machine in the Tascam. And for those guys who may be a bit on the younger side and don't have memory of open reel tape, we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to go over it and sort of just, you know, talk about the differences between the two tape decks, the two systems, and how they work and so forth. And I think it'll be interesting. So I'll see you then. Have a good weekend, or wherever you are in the world. Enjoy it. Peace out. We'll be back.